Hello children, welcome back to Poonam Jha Ma'am's Easy Learning class. Today we are going to talk about poetic devices or figures of a speech. This is very important question that comes in 9th and 10th class. You are given the lines and you have to write which poetic device or figures of a speech is there in this line. So now the question arises in the mind of the students, what is this and why do we use it? Now let me read it for you, whatever I have prepared for you. Then I'll explain one after another. Poetic devices are a form of literary device that is used in poetry. Figures of speech or poetic devices are the same terms which is used in poems. These are used in poems to make our stylish writing. It is used to enhance. Enhance is to upgrade the style of our writing. Use of these devices makes our language ornamental and decorative, which attracts the readers. That is why we use poetic devices or figures of speech. It intensifies the mood or feelings of the readers. Now, what we find that this is a style of writing. That is why the poets and authors use it. And they use it to make it more ornamental, to make it more decorative, to make it more interesting for the readers. There are different kinds of poetic devices which are used in the poems. Now, the children have difficulty in finding out which is the poetic device. So I have brought for you a big list of poetic devices. Let's check it. What is that? I'll discuss today about simile, metaphor, alliteration, personification, repetition, anaphora, hyperbole, irony, imagery, onomatopoeia, oxymoron, and rhyme. Now I have brought for you these, and if you need more, you can send me in comment box so that I can help you by sending you the details of more and more poetic devices. Now, first of all, let's come to simile. What is simile? Simile is comparison between two unlike objects. When two unlike things which are not at all similar to one another, this poetic device is used. But in simile, when we say something that this poetic device is simile, there must always be like or as used in the line. Now let us see the example. I'll explain to you in a better way. See the example. She is as beautiful as a rose. Now the comparison is totally different. A girl cannot be a rose, but it means that she is as beautiful as a rose flower. And in simile, always keep in mind, like or as words are used. In the second line, we see he fought as a soldier. Now, as is used, so we can say that this comparison is simile. He is not a soldier, but he has been compared, and it is said that he fought as a soldier. It means that he is as brave as a soldier. He fought as bravely as a soldier fights. So simile is very important poetic device. Always keep in mind and don't forget about it. That simile is comparison between two unlike things, but like or as are used, because you may get confused in simile and metaphor. Metaphor is also a poetic device, and you may get confused that what is the difference in metaphor and simile. The difference is metaphor is also comparison between two unlike things, two unlike objects, but in that like or as words are not used. Now let us see what is that. This poetic device also compares two objects but no use of like or as. We have to understand it. हमें समझना होगा कि ये comparison है, लेकिन like और as word नहीं दिया गया है. He is the Sachin Tendulkar of our class. It means he, the boy, is compared to Sachin Tendulkar. It means that he is as good a player as Sachin Tendulkar. He is as good a cricketer as Sachin Tendulkar. It means he plays very well. He plays cricket as good as Sachin Tendulkar. But comparison is here, we can see. But comparative words, that was as and like in the previous one, in simile, it is not used here. Now, she is the Lata Mangeshkar of our class. It means that she is as good a singer as Lata Mangeshkar. She is a very good singer in the class who can be compared with Lata Mangeshkar because she sings very well. Now, these two sentences say that he is as good a player as Sachin Tendulkar and she is as good a singer as Lata Mangeshkar. So don't get confused in metaphor and simile. Both are comparison between two unlike things. But in simile, we use like and as, and in metaphor, we don't use like or as. It directly compares with the object, compares with the thing. Right? Now let's move on to the next one. Now let's come to the poetic device that is called repetition. Repetition is the repeat of one word again and again. When some words or phrases are used again and again in a line, it is said to be repetition. Repeated words do not have any extra meaning, rather, it only aims to put more emphasis on the words or phrases. Now, let us see, repetition क्या है? Repetition में words again and again repeat होता है. Same word is repeated again and again. But it has the same meaning every time. Suppose the example is here. The highwayman came riding, riding, riding. The bird sang on and on and on. अब यहाँ हमें देखना है राइडिंग का हर 3 बार जो मीनिंग है वो बिल्कुल सेम है. Then why the poet has used it? He has used it to beautify the line. He has used it to put more emphasis on riding. That is why the word is used. अब इस लाइन में देखते हैं, the bird sang on and on and on. It means bird बार बार गा रही है. It has the same meaning. एक बार भी अगर on लिखता है poet, तब भी वही लाइन meaning होता है उसका. The bird sang on and on and on, मतलब वो चिड़िया जो है वो गाना गा रही है. The poet has tried to put more emphasis that the bird sang ceaselessly. बिना रुके बर्ड जो है वो गा रही है, गाए जा रही है. The highwayman is riding, riding, riding. He is moving on the horse and coming forward, forward, forward. But the meaning has same, although the word has been repeated again and again. I hope you have understood repetition also. Now let's move to next part. Alliteration. Alliteration maybe you are familiar with, but I'm explaining to you to make it more clear for you. This is the occurrence of the same letter or sound at the beginning of the words. This is repetition of the same letter, same sound. Suppose it is a warm wind, the west wind full of birds' cries. Now what we see, W, 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 W sound, W sound. This repetition of sound in a particular line is known as alliteration. एलिटरेशन में हम बार 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 उसी साउंड को प्रोड्यूस करते हैं. जैसे हिंदी में तुम सब बोलते हो ना, चंदू की चाची ने चांदी की चम्मच से चटनी चटाई. सो दिस च ch sound, the same is here, w sound. Has ratter silenced from the stove their shrills. Now the sound is s. This repeated sound of s is known as alliteration. I hope you have understood alliteration also, and let me move further. Anaphora. Now this is very important and this is very common. This is very commonly used by the poets. This anaphora is the repetition of the same word at the beginning of each line. That is called anaphora. Confused nahi hona hai. Don't get confused. Anaphora is the repetition of the same word in each line. जैसे इसमें मैं I have written, this is from Where the Mind is Without Fear by Rabindranath Tagore. In each line he has started with where the mind is without fear, dot dot dot, whatever is the line, where knowledge is free from dot dot dot, where the world has not dot dot dot. I will not go deeply in part, that will take more time. So I am telling you, I am explaining you, anaphora is the repetition of the same words again and again. Like here, where the mind is, where the knowledge, where the world. So this use of repeated word, किसी poem में होता है when at the beginning of each sentence. At the beginning of each sentence, sometimes poet writes how बार बार आता है. So this is all known as anaphora. I hope you have understood anaphora. Let's move to the next part. Now, personification. This is a very important poetic device, and this is very commonly used. And this also you can recognize very easily. If you understand it once, you will understand it forever. So let me explain to you. मुझे उम्मीद है तुम सब बहुत अच्छे से इसको समझ लोगे when I explain to you. Personification is adding human attributes to qualities. Personification is adding human attributes or qualities to other living or non-living things. अब ये क्या होता है, इसका मतलब है कि जहां भी कोई चीज जो नॉन लिविंग थिंग है, जो लिविंग ऑब्जेक्ट नहीं है, या कोई एनिमल है जिसमें जब ह्यूमन एट्रीब्यूट्स हम डालते हैं तो उसको हम पर्सनिफिकेशन कहते हैं. दिस वर्ड कम्स फ्रॉम पर्सन. पर्सन मतलब इंसान, ह्यूमन बीइंग. तो ह्यूमन क्वालिटीज जब किसी भी चीज में डाली जाती है तो दैट बिकम्स पर्सनिफिकेशन. सो लेट अस सी द एग्जांपल. व्हेन द पोएट सेज दैट डेथ वाज स्टैंडिंग एट द डोर, डू यू इमेजिन दैट डेथ कैन स्टैंड एट द डोर लाइक अ ह्यूमन बीइंग? नो, but the poet has intensified it. The poet has made it clear for us, and he says that the death was standing at the door. It means death is behaving like a human being. Here death has been personified. Death को हम कह सकते हैं कि death has been personified. Let's see here. The wind howled in the night. Wind एक आवाज ऐसी निकाल रहा है, तो wind कैसे किसी इंसान की तरह, किसी जानवर की तरह आवाज निकालेगा? Because he has been personified. The mirror explained my beauty. Does the mirror talk? No, mirror cannot talk. But it has been personified. So it says that it has been explained. It is explaining that mirror talked to me about my beauty. It means that mirror has been personified. Now, I'll tell you more examples which can make you understand easily. Panchatantra stories. Have you read about Panchatantra stories or Jatak tales? जातका टेल्स और पंचतंत्र स्टोरीज में जितने एनिमल्स हैं वो all have been personified because all behave like human being. Suppose Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, all these characters have been personified. वो डक है, वो माउस है, वो सब ह्यूमन बिहेवियर है उसमें. That is why we can call it that it has been personified. So personification is when non-living objects or animals are given human qualities. That is known as personification. I hope you have understood personification also. Now let's come to irony. Irony is the opposite meaning. The expression in the language normally opposite is in meaning is known as irony. The expression in the language, क्या होता है कि when we speak something at meaning opposite, example से समझ में आएगा. When we say good job to a boy who broke the glass, अब क्या होता है, किसी बच्चे से, किसी लड़के से कांच की ग्लास टूट जाती है and it has fallen on the broken on the floor. और उस टाइम पे हम जब ये कमेंट देते हैं कि very good job, well done, we know that it is not a good job, it is not well done, it was by mistake done by him. तो ये ऑपोजिट मीनिंग जब हम देते हैं तो उसको हम कहते हैं आयरनी. दिस इज एन आयरॉनिकल स्टेटमेंट. सपोज कभी कभी क्लास में या कहीं बाहर भी कई लोग कहते हैं, ऑल्दो अ टीचर शुड नेवर डू, लेकिन कभी कभी ये कहा जाता है कि व्हेन इट इज सेड टू अ वीक बॉय, हाँ हाँ मुझे तो पता है तुम इस बार फर्स्ट आने वाले हो. व्हेन इट इज सेड टू अ वीक बॉय, आई नो यू विल स्टैंड फर्स्ट इन द क्लास, it means the statement is opposite in meaning. I think you have understood irony also, because when it has opposite meaning than the statement given, it is called irony. Irony का मतलब जो word हम बोलते हैं उससे opposite उसकी meaning होती है. So I think it is also clear to you. Now let's come to imagery. Imagery is very common and very important poetic device. Now in any question, जब भी तुम्हें question आता है और पूछता है कि which poetic device is used, you can use this word, because almost in every poem we have imagery. Let's see what is this imagery. When the given description touches our sense organs like eyes, ear, nose, skin, तो हम कहते हैं कि it is imagery. अब ये क्या होता है कि हमारी नाक और आंख को ये टच करेगा? It means that कोई ऐसा visualization, suppose every poem whatever is written to us, sorry, anything whatever is written to us, अगर हम कोई poem पढ़ते हैं, कोई music सुनते हैं, तो things are in front of us. कोई poem अगर हम पढ़ते हैं तो हमें लगता है कि वो हमारी आंखों के सामने में ये घूम रहा है, तो that becomes imagery because it has touched our eyes. We can easily say that this poem has imagery. So maximum 99% poems में तुम इस imagery को use कर सकते हो as a poetic device. लिख सकते हो अपने क्वेश्चन में कि this is the imagery used in the poem, क्योंकि ये हमें कुछ ना कुछ दिखाता है जो हमारी आंखों के सामने में हमें दिखता है. Now what happens? Let's see the example. Water falling sound, fragrance of flowers, टच सेंस, ये सब तो हर पोएम में ऑलमोस्ट होता ही है. अगर कोई गिरने के टैप टैप water falling की आवाज आ रही है, that it was raining outside and tap tap sound was coming from outside. There is fragrance of water. What a beautiful rose was there. It had a fragrance which was so soothing and comforting to me. I was there in the garden. तो ये सब जो हमारे फीलिंग्स दे रहे हैं, फ्रेग्रेंस हमारे नाकों को टच कर रहा है, इट टचेज आवर सेंस ऑर्गन, नोज, टच सेंस दे रहा है, इट वाज एज सॉफ्ट एज अ सिल्क, it was so sweetly, it was so well written, it was so well prepared, and then it gave us the softness of cotton, softness of silk. So these things are always used in imagery. So you can easily use this word imagery in the poetic devices asked in your question, because in almost all the poems imagery is used as we visualize the description given by the poem. Suppose when we say that I was there in the garden, I was there in the park, and the fragrance of the flowers were there all around, तो इसमें क्या है कि हमारी आंखों के सामने तो वो दिख रहा है जैसे हम किसी पार्क में हैं. तो this imagery is very easily used in our poetic devices. You can write easily about poetic device. Now onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is also very important, and don't get confused because the spelling and the word is very long. So you learn this word and you can use this in your device, in your answers. This is one of the poetic devices which deals with the sound of poetry. These sounds in poetry are easily heard by the reader. अब onomatopoeia और imagery में क्या फर्क है? Imagery talks about all sense organs. It has touch, it has a smell, it has taste, taste buds. It was very sweet. Sweet मतलब taste होता है, तो we can call it imagery. अगर ये fragrance दे रहा है, it touches our nose. अगर ये हमें softness दे रहा है silk की तरह, it touches our skin. तो imagery में हमें सारे sense organs touch होते हैं. But there is a difference in onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia only talks about hearing sound. It only touches our ear. So keep in mind, don't get confused. This is also very frequently used by the poets, so you can use this also. Onomatopoeia this is one of the poetic devices which deals with the sound of poetry. Those sounds in poetry are easily heard by the reader. ये sound क्या होता है? Splash, gurgle, babble, ये सब जो sound effect वाले जो words होते हैं किसी भी poem में, झरने की आवाज आती है, बर्ड के चहकने की आवाज आती है, ये सारे वर्ड्स जो टर्म्स यूज होते हैं, ये वर्ड वाले सारे पोएटिक डिवाइसेस जो हैं वो सारे onomatopoeia कहे जाते हैं. So I think you have understood onomatopoeia also, and you have understood the difference between imagery and onomatopoeia. Imagery touches all our sense organs and onomatopoeia only touches our ear. The sense organ ear is touched. I think I have explained and you have understood it well. Now let's talk about hyperbole. Hyperbole is also very interesting and this is also used. ये हम मैं तुम्हें घर डे टू डे लाइफ के एग्जाम्पल से समझाऊंगी. That will make your work easier. This is the exaggeration of statement that is not literally true. ये जब हम बात को बढ़ा चढ़ा के बोलते हैं ना, तो that is hyperbole. वो exaggeration जो होता है, जैसे घर में भी मम्मी कई बार बोलती हैं कि सारा दिन टीवी देखता है. It's actually not that you see सारा दिन टीवी. You watch TV for 1 hour, 2 hours, or 4 hours, but it is not entire day, 24 hours. This statement is exaggeration, right? Now I'll show you this example also. I told you 100 times to complete the task. जब टीचर स्कूल में नाराज होती हैं तो कहती हैं कि I have told you 100 times to do it, but you have not understood my words. It means that she has told you many times. Many times में हो सकता है एक बार बोला, 2 बार बोला, 10 बार बोला, 10 से ज्यादा भी बोल दिया, but it is never 100 times. This is never 100 times, right? So this exaggeration, बात को जब हम बढ़ा चढ़ा के बोलते हैं, तो that is called hyperbole. Let us see in the next example. It is so cold that I saw a polar bear wearing hats and coats. अब इसमें देखो, polar bear are there in cold region, ठीक है, ठंड में होती है, तो इसका मतलब ये नहीं है कि हमने उसको hats और coats पहने देखा. It means that it was too cold. बहुत ठंडे है और सब tightly packed है, बहुत सारे कपड़े पहन के. So this is exaggeration. अब exaggerate करके इतना बोल दिया कि polar bear को मैंने hats और coats पहने देखा. मम्मी ने बोल दिया कि सारा दिन टीवी देखता है, 1 मिनट पढ़ाई नहीं करता है. This 1 minute is maybe you study 4 hours, maybe you study 6 hours, but what mother has said, 1 मिनट भी नहीं पढ़ता है. So this 1 मिनट का कहना सारा दिन टीवी देखता है, this सारा दिन is exaggeration, and this term is known as hyperbole in poetic devices. I think you all have understood this hyperbole also. Now let's come to oxymoron. Oxymoron is a poetic device that combines two seemingly contradictory or opposite ideas to create a certain poetic effect and reveal a deeper meaning. इसमें opposite ideas होते हैं, एक साथ यूज किए जाते हैं, दो opposite ideas. जैसे example है, that will make you understand better. The most common of oxymoron is an adjective followed by a noun. अब देखते हैं हम इस example में क्या है. Deafening silence. अब देखो, deafening मतलब बहरा कर देने वाला, deaf मतलब होता है बहरा. Now let's check. अब ये deafening silence जब है, तो वो फिर deafening silence कैसे होगा बहरा करने वाला, क्यों वो तो silence ही है already, है ना. तो how can it make you deaf? It is already deaf, it is already silent, it has already no sound in it. तो ये दो opposite ideas हैं, deafening silence, sweet sorrow. Now let us see, these two terms are opposite. Sweet are always good, it's always tasty, it's always taken as a positive thing, right? और sorrow देखो, sorrow क्या है, sorrow is always a negative word. तो ये दोनों एक साथ यूज हो रहा है. This kind of thing used in a line, used in a poem is known as oxymoron. At the same time, suppose here falsely true. अब false तो false हुआ, true तो true हुआ, दोनों तो opposite हैं. True मतलब सच होता है और false मतलब झूठ होता है. अब ये दोनों एक साथ कैसे हो सकते हैं? This kind of use of word is known as oxymoron. I think you have understood with the examples. If you have any doubt, you can write in comment box and I'll definitely remove your doubt. So now with this, we come to the end of the session. If you have any doubt, you please write in the comment box, and more we will do in the next upcoming video. And if you want more, you please write in the comment box. Till then, bye bye, see you soon.